What's up? What's up, good people? What's up, good people? Yes, I know I normally go on in the morning. I normally go on in the morning, but I had to do this right here, right now today. The story just getting crazier. It's just getting ridiculous. And I told myself I wasn't going to drink at this fresh and fit Abba and Preach well no more. Well, when Abba posted a video, when Abba and Preach essentially posted a video of Fresh at going to buy his first gun. Let's roll the intro and get into it, man. Y'all know what it is. Let's go. Let's go.
Peace, folks. This is X from TPOT Media. Open your mind and wake your black ass up. You know what time it is. Hit that damn like button as you make your way in the door. Grab a seat, settle in, get ready. It's the Grown Man Hour with your host, my man, Bernard Riley.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Mumia Obsidian Ali. You know who I am. I need no introduction, right? And you're listening to the Grown Man Hour with my man Bernard Riley, heard weekdays right here on YouTube. What do you think about that? How about that? Now let's get back on with the show. Thank you.
All right, man. All right, man. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the afternoon or evening show or whatever the hell we're calling this. Like to shout out everybody that's in the building. Let me briefly dot one more I and cross one more T, but you see the title, you see the thumbnail. Perhaps you have seen the video that Abba and Preach just dropped. Going to be talking about that, going to be breaking some things down about that. But everybody that's in the building, shout out to all of you. And we in here. We in here. All right. Yeah, had to talk about something off the air real quick. All right. Let's get into it. Shout out to what I normally call the early bird squad, even though it's not early in the morning today. We almost got 100 people in here. Make sure you hit the like button. 94 people in the building, 33 on the lights. Killmatic in the building, says LMAOOOO. Says get that effing hashtag clout. If clout chasing means covering a trending story where prominent YouTubers with over 1 million subs was setting up a potential boxing match and then they backed out, but then the other one goes to purchase a gun, if that's clout, chasing, then goddamn it, I'm a clout chaser. No, but real talk. It's covering the trending story. We're going to cover the trending stories around here, mixed in with other things. And this one definitely qualifies as something that just won't die. When I thought it was dead, I thought I would not be touching this. I was about to go on air this morning. I had something I want to talk about, but I didn't really care to talk about it. And I was thinking, okay, I can always go and drink again at the Fresh and Fit Abbott and Preach Well, but I was like, nah, I don't want to do that again. I don't want to do that no more. I told myself I'm not going to do it no more. I was glad when Fantastic did it. Shout out to him. He was in that algorithm hard. He had like 1,000 people in there last I looked. So shout out to him. I was glad somebody covered it, but I didn't want to touch it. But when this new recent development happened, I was like, oh shoot, okay, we got to do this. I want to share the screen. We're going to go over it. Shout out to shout out to Spliff Spark in the building. Shout out to my Kaya 31. Oh no, that's NY, New York Kaya 31, I believe that is. He said this is going to be a great show. Keep the likes up, y'all. So that's what Spliff Park says. Is the bandana. Iceberg S says fresh, looking like a GTA character in the thumbnail. Yeah. Hey, my thumb. Hey, listen, y'all gotta give me props. My thumbnail game is getting good. I used to hire a guy to do my thumbnails, but I figured out how to do the stuff myself, and I'll be doing my own. I do my own stunts when it comes to the thumbnails now, man. I be I be getting it in. I've been kind of clowning him on the thumbnails. The first one he had on the little blue cap, and then the next one he had on the boxing helmet with the gloves. Now this one he ready for war. He ready for war in this thumbnail. He ain't coming to play. You know, he got an AK-47 strapped across his back. He ready. But shout out to Rod of God podcast in the building with the super chat that I'm trying to find it. There we go. That's my man right there. He says nighttime BR is the best BR. Hey, trust me, I am not doing that junk I did last time when I was on the air for almost a whole fortnight. Like, no, forget that. That ain't happening again. But shout out to Rod of God podcast in the building with the first super chat. Appreciate everybody who supports the stream. Lionel Jean Lewis. That's a name for you right there. Shout out to you in the building. Shout out to you. Appreciate you coming through, putting 5 on it. Rocco Keller says Pookie and Fit. Yeah, Theo, man. You know, it's on his Instagram. It's on his Instagram. I played a clip, but what's more important, Abba and Preach's response to it. That was interesting. Those that know the show. He says, Little Big Nate says, I am the thumbnail god. Hey, man, my thumbnail game. You know what? I'm gonna show you something. We're gonna talk off the air. We're gonna talk off the air. We're gonna talk thumbnails off the air. I wanna rap with you about the thumbnail game, but shout out to Little Big Nate. And yeah, Theo, you're not gonna believe. Well, I mean, Abba did an excellent breakdown. So I'm about to skip right to that. I'm about to skip right to Abba's breakdown on it, because he did a good job breaking down the odds and ends of the possibility of this being a coincidence. Little Big Nate, if you free when I get off the air, I'll hit you up, and then that way we could do it right on StreamYard. But no, we'll talk though. We'll talk. Let's see. Wait a minute. I didn't mean. Let's see. Let's get that back there. Let's get that paused. All right, I'm gonna let this do a lot of the speaking for itself. He did a good job breaking down the ramifications of this. All of the ramifications and implications and all of that. He did a good job breaking it down. And We gonna let him speak on this one. But shout out to Osama Abdu in the building. Shout out to Osama Abdu in the building. Shout out one more super chat before I get to rolling the I normally say not so beautiful bean footage. Well, this is a mixture of some beautiful bean footage and some not so beautiful bean footage. But okay, Osama Abdu in the building says BR Game Cartel and the fake okay, I'm already here. I was going to cuss. Fake ass high value man Cardi has been taking major losses. What losses have the fake ass high value man? I think he was trying to say cartel as well. With the fake ass high value man cartel, what losses have they been taking in the second half of 2021? Logic and rationale always prevails. Yes, sir. Yeah, game dudes have lost some back and forths. You know, I don't know exactly who you're talking about taking L's in the high value realm. I don't know and don't care who's high value and who's not. I do know Kevin Samuels popularized the term. I haven't seen him take any L's, so I don't know who exactly you speak of, and I don't know what makes somebody being high value, how that makes them not rational. I don't, so I don't know where you're going with that. But here in the sphere, yes, we are overcritical. We give an overcritical analysis of things. And yeah, when some guy, there's nothing wrong with game, we all use it. Nothing wrong with game, we all use it. The vast majority of us. Now, sometimes when people are, teach game for a living, sometimes it do seem like it crosses over to a point where they start, as I say, it sounds like they selling some magic beans or magic pills or magic alpha dust. As I say, sometimes it does cross over to that point, and it's like, okay, I ain't really feeling what he's saying right there. But overall, generally 90 to 95% of what guys who talk game and teach game, most of what they're saying is on point, is good general advice that some brothers can use. So that's why I'm not I'm not the anti-game guy, but I know you've had a problem with the high value man thing ever since its inception. Ever since it came to this space. I know you've had a problem with it. So I'm not I mean, you could further elaborate in the chat what you mean by the high value of taking L's, but yeah, there's people have been overly critical of some of the guys that teach game, and some of the criticism is fair, some of it's not, but that's a whole nother subject. Goshen says, "Glory to the game." But shout out to you. Appreciate the super chat. Appreciate the super chat, and always appreciate your support. And let's get into this. The name is titled "He Bought a Fire." I mean, the video is titled "He Bought a Firearm." 227 people in the building. 70 likes. Hit that like button. Let's go.
Listen, I was about to go to the airport within the next 30 minutes, okay? Because putting all this behind us, for the next couple of days, we're going to take some days off, go do some podcast guest appearances in different spots. And then someone sends me a story of Fresh Prince CEO going to buy firearms for the first time. Look at this.
All right, guys, I'm here with my boy Peter helping me with my first guns. Shout out to you, man.
Hey, pleasure, Walter. Thank you. Hello, everyone out there. Yeah, we here at American Security Consultants, we're experts in firearms training, situational awareness, defensive tactics.
Just to be sure, just in case you don't know, that's literally on Fresh Prince CEO's Instagram. They posted 3 hours ago. Somebody saying it's an old video. He posted it 3 hours ago. So even if it is an old video, that's some weird timing to be posting an old video right now. That's some weird timing. So it's either a new video that he decided to put out there right now, that he decided to go to the gun shop to buy his first gun right now, All right, Ty City is saying it's a clip from a YouTube video. It's on the man's Instagram page. Okay, let me show you this. He reposted it 4 hours ago, probably 4 hours now. No matter where it's from. None of that matters. I gotta back out and do this. Hold on. Oh shit, he trying to get me copyrighted. All right. Let's do this. All right, let's share the. Doug, are you seriously saying what's the big deal about buying a firearm? You don't think nothing about that timing is weird? You get into a YouTube beef where you challenge somebody to come catch hands, to come box. Y'all go back and forth about the boxing. Y'all have a fallout. Y'all sort of reach resolution where everybody decided to part their own ways, wished each other the best. But now you're going to post a video on your Instagram of you going to buy your first gun. Like, come on. That's some wild and wacky timing. That is some wild and wacky timing. Hold up. All right. Here it is, 3 hours. I don't know if y'all can see that. Y'all should be able to see that 3 hours. This was just posted.
Awareness, defensive tactics.
All right, guys. I'm here with my boy Peter helping me with my first guns. Shout out to you, man.
Hey, pleasure, Walter. Thank you. Hello, everyone out there. Yeah, we here at American Security Consultants, we're experts in firearms training, situational awareness, defensive tactics.
All right, guys. I'm here with my boy Peter helping me with my first guns. Shout out to you.
Yeah. You can't get around that timing. And you can't get around the simple fact that he did it when he did it, even if it's an old video somehow. You can't get around that.
Are you serious? And you think you're an alpha male? You think you're fit to lead other men? There's two scenarios here. Maybe Fresh always really wanted a gun, and this just happened to spring up, and it was just appointment he set beforehand and whatever. But to post that on IG after, if I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt, right? Maybe you're that fucking stupid. To post that on IG after you challenge a man to a fight, insult his wife, insult the Haitian community and the Haitians there, right? You're in Miami, you're an idiot. You then go and post stories after you start backing out and getting scared. You post stories about you buying firearms because, oh, we're going to go to the boxing match. We're going to do this legally. And you post that on IG. Let's say this is a scenario that really happened, okay? That means you lack so much self-awareness to realize how it's going to look optically that you have no idea about anything relating to social cues. You don't understand how to communicate to people, how you're perceived. That's basic 101 stuff. That's crazy. So I don't know how you're fit to teach other men how to adjust and how to learn game on the fly. You don't even see how awkward and stupid you look.
I gotta agree. Great Britain in the building says, Preach said, put away the heaters, put up your. I don't think he said that. Fresh, he got half of Dade on his ass. Them Zo deep, bruh, fresh and frightened. I didn't understand some of what you said right there, but shout out to Great Britain. Excuse me. Latchzilla said, I never like the hyper 19-year-old-ish shtick on Fresh and Fit. I never had a problem with it. Because that's their thing. They was being themselves. A lot of people have been calling them out for being lames and dorks and cornballs, but okay, I don't have a problem with somebody who's kind of corny, being kind of corny. It only just it turns into a problem when you start saying things like, yeah, and I want to take the bitch's soul, and if and then when it sounds like you capping, I hate that word. Now the internet got me using it, but I'm okay with a dude being kind of corny. That part I was cool with. I'm okay with a dude being kind of square. I'm okay with that because here's the truth about Fresh Prince CEO Walter, as we heard him say in his video. Here's the truth about him. All right, wasn't in great shape. Was not the best looking guy on earth. Sort of has somewhat out of being nice, somewhat of a speech impediment, which makes it hard for you to have good mouthpiece game. The only way that he could really get on with women, money and status. Okay, well, guess what? He accomplished that. The only card he possibly would have had to play, he went and did it. I'm good with that. I applaud that. I applaud him for that. Now, some things do come off as fake when, this goes back. I ain't talking about tricking again for a long time. But, we talk about guys paying for it or this or that, or guys doing this or doing that. No, you had to do a whole hell of a lot. You had to do a whole hell of a lot to build yourself up to get in the game. So, you can't pretend like his mouthpiece, sex appeal, and alpha swag, that's so. But the things that he had to do to get in the game, to be noticed by women, to build himself up in terms of his money and status, I commend that. And that's really what he could talk about. In fairness, I think they do teach courses on, how to make your public persona on social media look a certain way. And he does that. His public persona on Instagram looks amazing. So he's technically done the one thing that somebody like him can do, and a lot of lame cornball guys that want to be pimp player max. Shout out to Game Changer. That's really the way to do it. So I applaud him for that. But then when he start talking about other stuff, it's like you can kind of, that's where people start putting them blue hats in the chat room and the whole, we don't believe you. You need more people kind of thing. Becomes a a factor in the equation. Latchzilla said, okay, we already read that one. Shout out to you. Never liked their stick. It always feels like they're trying to prove themselves to themselves. Too much pre-work mix. I don't know on that one. There was somebody else in here with a super chat. Somebody else in here. Oh, a few people in here with a super chat. Hey, appreciate everybody supporting the stream. Know a lot of y'all want to get your words in on this. Big Mag, the Fisher in the building. He says it is suspect and the timing is too coincidental for me to think that purchase was organic. Absolutely. Even if you did want to make an organic purchase, if you did want to just make an organic purchase of a gun, that's sort of like what Abba just explained. You need the self-awareness to know that this is not a good time to post that on Instagram. Let's just say I was at a gathering at my brother's house and me and one of my friends or one of my brother friends or somebody who was there that I know who's in my circle, the same people that follow me on the gram, follow him on the gram, me and him almost got into it. We almost got into a fight at the cookout. If it just so happened to be the case that later on that day I was planning on buying a gun, it would be stupid as fuck for me to go and buy that gun and post me buying that gun and post it on Instagram. right after I just almost got into a fight where I challenged somebody to come see me later. Now I'm gonna go on Instagram to buy a gun, and he not supposed to think that that gun is not for that I didn't buy that gun because of him. After the last thing that Abba and Preach said, that Fresh and Fit said about it, Fresh himself was sitting there saying that, hey, and if y'all still want to do the boxing thing, y'all want to come, then come on, That's not the time to post Instagram pictures of videos of you buying a gun. It's just not. Now, there's nothing wrong with going to buy it just in case Preach is still pissed off that you said something about his wife and his country. And then, when the 400-pound gorilla in the room come banging at your door, okay, you want to be ready. I get that. I get that. But optics wise, if you're planning on putting this situation behind you and moving forward, apologies have been sent. You don't post on Instagram of you buying a gun. Now, it's nothing wrong with buying a gun. Nothing wrong with buying this. I think he's in his 30s. This is his first gun. That's not good either. That's not good for separate reasons. But, hey, well, better late than never. He went and purchased his first gun. That's great. That's great. Go to the range, learn how to shoot it, learn how to handle it, learn how to, reload real quick and all, do the whole gun thing. Yeah, awesome. But you don't post a picture right now. When you have a pending meeting, no, you don't post a video right now. I think we all obviously understand that for obvious reasons why that didn't make no damn sense. And I think Abba is absolutely right. The lack of self-awareness do have to be acknowledged. That's crazy. That is crazy. All right. Yeah, shout out to Big Mag the Fitcher. Appreciate you coming through with the $5 super chat. Tank Johnson in the building. Tank Johnson in the building says black immigrants always overcompensated. I didn't know that was a thing, but shout out to you. It might be. I don't know. If that's a thing, I didn't know that was a thing. Put it like that. If that's a thing, nobody told me. Appreciate you putting 5 on it. You said, what about crying over a man buying a gun? Show me somebody who's crying. I can show you somebody giving clear analysis as to why that looks stupid. I can show you that. I can't show you nobody that's crying. What the hell? Red Sings the Blues in the building. Says the Frost and Flake podcast. I don't care. They got my number. Shout out to you. Appreciate the $5 super chat. Shout out to Top Shelf C says, calm down, Walter. It's illogical to say crying. Yeah, I thought so too. That's something that people say when somebody is criticizing something that they don't want to be criticized, and they try to say that the person is crying. Or why are you crying? Why are you being emotional? When somebody, has a certain amount of passion, but they want the person to. I didn't go dissect nobody's motive, but But I think for obvious reasons, we can all see exactly what was wrong with that. But if we reposition the argument somewhere else and then work from there, then yes, we can find internal logic in the fact that there's nothing wrong with a man buying a gun and posting a video of him buying a gun. So the logic works out if we start from that basis. But if we start from the full context of everything that happened, yeah, it's goofy as hell for him to not buy the gun, but for him to post the Instagram video of him buying the gun in the midst of all that's going on. So not my crying, but my critique isn't of him buying a gun. So that's already a straw man. The critique is not of him purchasing a gun. If he would have purchased a gun and just purchased it, no big deal. To post it on Instagram right now in the midst of all of this, that's stupid. It just is. It's literally stupid. All right. Zeno FDH TV says, if Abbott and Preach was from Chicago, New York, Cali, they would have spun the block on Fresh for that blunder. He's lucky they are Canadian. Yeah, that was an obvious blunder. Obvious blunder. I'm getting behind on some super chats because they coming quick. Trying to catch up with him before I roll the rest of the video. Said he probably got some death threats. Poor baby. That would actually be a good reason. if Abby and Preach got fans giving him death threats and he want to send a message to the death threats, but now we're adding to the story. Now we're adding to the story. We're not going to add to the story so we can go to the moon about his reasoning. We're not going to do that. Great Britain in the building says, where was all the ambition to buy guns when Shorty embarrassed Myron and smack him live on the air? Why they not just calling security like they did then? Yeah, go home, man. No, thank you for the super chat. Will the beast attack the argument, not the person? I can't rock with their response and force apology. Keep up the good work, bro. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. All right. Let's roll some more of the video.
Or option 2, which I think is what everyone else believes just like me. This man wrote a check that his ass can't check. And now
it's wrote a check that his ass can't cash. But anyway.
That his ass can't check. And now, after he insults all this and does all this talking, he went out and bought firearms. And this is your king. This is the guy that you guys look up to learn how to speak to women. This man.
Whoa! Time to see. Now I gotta call a timeout on that one. All right. Damn, that's a good one. Fresh and strapped. That's a good one. Now, do got to call timeout on Abbo on that one. Talk about this is the king. This is the guy that you look up to teach you how to talk to women. I don't think anybody looks up to Fresh on how to talk to women. Now, he's a part of the team over there on the Fresh and Fit podcast, and they do teach game over there, just like, Flavor Flav was, part of Public Enemy, but he wasn't the one that brought the bars. DJ Yellow was a part of NWA, but he wasn't the one that we heard spitting on the track. So no, I think people look more to Myron on that, and Myron got his own reasons why people side eye him. But I think when Fresh get to talking, people be putting them blue caps in the chat room. At least when I go over there, and listen, the stuff that he got to say is not he you can tell when somebody like knows the stuff and they talking it and spitting it and it's coming out fast and quick and they know what they saying and then they get pushed back and they got a quick response and they not fumbling through the conversation versus somebody who's just fumbling through talking points. And there will be a lot of that in this space. where you get some people who just fumble through talking points. They heard somebody else said it, so they're just gonna say it. I don't think nobody looks at him as this is the game. We're getting the game from him. Now that whole Fresh and Fit podcast, yes, that's a whole machine. It's a powerful machine, and he's a part of it. He plays his role to it, but I don't think people view him as that dude who just brings the fire like that. No, I don't. I'm pretty damn sure people don't view him like that. At least I'd be shocked. I'd be shocked. Space Kitchen Podcast says Fresh, the new Walter White from Breaking Bad. Oh man. This stuff is crazy, man. This stuff is crazy. Trying to see what y'all talking about in the chat. What the fuck, Ty City? Nobody said guns equal toxic. Nobody, don't spin a narrative and try to say that I'm saying some shit that I'm not saying when people can hear the words coming out of my mouth. I explained exactly why the timing of posting it on Instagram was some fucked up timing. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about something that's wrong with the man owning a gun to protect himself. That's not the conversation. Don't try to make it seem like that's the conversation, because it's not. And you know it's not. So don't try to spin that. Like, come on, man. What the hell? Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you was coming at me. Ty City, I give you my sincerest apology. Looking you in the eyes, looking right in the camera, you have my sincerest apology. I thought you was coming at me sideways, and I apologize. I apologize. I thought you was talking to me. Now, who in the hell in the chat saying that owning a gun is toxic? So I can call that motherfucker out. I apologize to Ty City. No, you know Ty City versus Bernard. Quit saying that. Don't put that out there, Tank Jackson. Wealthy Fire says Ty be getting, I think he's trying to say Ty City be getting under Bernard's skin. He do. He do. I ain't gonna lie on that. He one of the few people that can do that, because he throw out comments. I will be talking about one thing, and then he will throw out a comment that does not represent the way that I said what I said. He will put his spin on it, and I'll be like, nigga, I ain't say that shit. like, don't try to. I remember it was one time where I was like, yeah, the manosphere was created because, hey, men wanted to address the social contract between, men and women. So that's all. That's why those videos about women, streams about women, get the most views. So we all going to talk about women here. When I talk about women, I'm just normally critical of what's going on. Ty City posted "woman first" in this. I don't know. Maybe it wasn't towards me, but he had posted "woman first" when I said that. Yes, there will always be streams about women, but "woman first" means, pander and cater to them and give them what they want and say what they want to hear. Something that I don't do. So I was like, damn, why did he post "woman first" right there? Maybe he was talking to somebody else. I thought he was talking about me. So sometimes I'll be looking at the chat room like, what is Ty City talking about? So I be tripping. Ty City one of the few people that can do that. I give him props for that. He one of the few people who can get under my skin with a small comment. I'm like, what the hell? He said, Buddy gaslighting people with this gun situation. He's not threatened by it. I'm going live tonight about this. Good deal. He says we need Bernard versus panel ARC. Me and ARC cool. Me and ARC don't ever clash like that. Respectful disagreements between me and ARC. That's all me and ARC ever had. Fresh is the Jazzy Jeff. Spender. Thank you. Thank you. Let me get on this in case OG pull up on me and try to say that I need to wipe the sweat off my forehead. Y'all know I be getting greasy up in here. Be getting greasy. But yeah, I think you said it right. He's the Jazzy Jeff. He's the Spinderella. He's the Eric B of the duo. He ain't. Man, I'm slacking, man. I mean, I got a little leftover muscles from when I used to work out consistently, but man, I ain't doing it big right now, man. I gotta get in there. I gotta get in there, Silent. I gotta get back in there, gym, consistently. All right, let's roll the rest of this video.
Can't speak to people. He doesn't understand how to communicate. How can you have game if you don't understand social cues? He's
That Abba is killing it though. Abba is killing it. Abba is knocking it out the park. For G, so y'all gonna clown my shirt. You gonna say I got zippers on my pants? No, I just got one zipper on the shirt. One zipper. One zipper. Ain't no zippers on my pants other than at the part where it's supposed to be a zipper. That was very important, man.
This is the guy that you guys look up to learn how to speak to women. This man can't speak to people. He doesn't understand how to communicate. How can you have game if you don't understand social cues? He's a fraud.
Charles Faulkner, woo, says, what's leftover muscles? Leftovers muscles is when you used to work out consistently and you used to be ripped, but you've sort of deteriorated. But people might look at you and be like, thinking like, oh, bro, you still work out. But no, I don't really work out like that. But I still got just some, leftover. Damn, it's in reverse. I can't tell. I got some leftover muscles from when I used to work out. It's like some of them are still just hanging around. They, I ain't beef and buff like I used to. I want to overrate myself, but I used to look something like you in that picture, almost. But now it's just I got just a few little muscles just left over hanging around. They they not recently worked on muscles. They just muscles that I got a while ago that's just sticking around. That's all. They just sticking around. That's why I call them leftover muscles. Worst thing Fresh and Fit did was apologize. If I ever disrespected somebody, I meant it. Got to stand on what you say. They folded. Disappointing. I understand the concept of saying something and then saying something in the moment, and then later you think about it and then you realize you was wrong. Like sort of like with Ty City. I kind of snapped a little bit because I thought Ty City was saying I was saying something that I wasn't saying, but I found out he wasn't saying it about me. He was saying it about somebody in the chat. So yeah, I gotta apologize. So there are times when you should apologize. Now I understand the concept of when you, let's say you so strong on your manness to where whatever you make a decision to do, God damn it, I don't make mistakes. I said it, I did it, it's done, it's over. Move around and adjust to me. God damn, I understand that. But sometimes you are just wrong. So I mean, it's different schools of thought on that. I think a man can be masculine and still make a mistake and then own up to it. So that's where I'm at with it. But it's different schools of thoughts on that. You are just bloated, Bernard. Don't lie. Yeah, residual muscles, man. It's a thing. I got a dad bod over here, man. For real. Worst thing, Fresh and Fit. Okay, I already read that one. But to this point that you can't teach game if you don't understand social cues, that is very true. Learning game, knowing, understanding game. A lot of it is social cues. A lot of it is reading the room and reading women and all of that. All of that, that's a major part of it. That is an unavoidable part of it. And if somebody lacks in that area, then yeah, their game is lacking. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. It's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. So I mean, he's offering a fair criticism. The only thing is that I don't think Fresh on his own could grow a channel about teaching game. I don't think he could do that. I don't think he could do that without Myron. But they're a team. I've heard Myron do a breakdown of the value that Fresh adds to the team. How he's good at networking. He's good at he named a number of things that Fresh does that adds value to the team. But Myron is the performer. He does especially when the girls are in there. Myron does 80% of the talking. So he brings the bars. He's the Will Smith. Fresh is Jazzy Jeff. So I was slightly off on that one. Because I don't think people come to learn at the feet of Fresh Prince CEO. I don't think people do that. I'd be shocked. Put it like this. I said it like that. I'd be shocked if that's the case.
And young men, listen, in the military, you can have the highest rank you want. Okay. We don't respect an officer just because they got the rank. We'll do our job, but we don't believe in him. Respect, leadership, it's earned through leading by example. This is your man. You know why I said the emperor has no clothes? Because it's a story about two jesters who walk into a city naked, all right? And they concoct this plan to fool the whole city that they are emperors. So they get one guy and they get a couple other hobos to carry some sort of dais, and they carry them through town, and everyone starts making way because it's like, oh my God, there's these guys on a dais. Look at them. The emperor's in town. We don't know from what country, but they look the part. And then someone points out, wait, the emperor has no clothes. You want to know why? Because an emperor would never walk around with no clothes. The same way a real man would never go out and challenge someone to a boxing match, insult his integrity and his honor, and then say, yeah, let's box. And then when the man accepts, you go and buy guns and you dodge talking about money. Y'all are crazy. And this is...
I don't think he told the emperor has no clothes story exactly right. I think he missed a step in there. But overall, I'm feeling I'm agreeing with what he's saying. I'm agreeing with the points that's being made here.
Not even to encourage violence. I don't want none of that. Okay. I'm not about to start talking about that's crazy talk. This to let young men know on this platform, because just because they're older than you and they show a big game doesn't mean they're about that life. Too many frauds out here. Right? I call it blind leading the blind.
Thank you, Goshen. I call dudes out when they do that real man stuff. Because whenever somebody say a real man, normally I don't think he used it in the worst kind of way, but normally when somebody try to say that, well, a real man does, like women say that all the time, and they just describe a man that does things to their benefit. And normally when men say a real man, they normally gaslight other men. That's just my opinion. Not all the time, but I do got a problem with that real man. And then when people go a step further and say real nigga, come on. A real nigga would do, oh my, come on, man. I hate that shit. I hate that with a passion. Sometimes like I can tolerate real man when somebody say that. When somebody say a real nigga, I'm done when I hear that. I'm done when I hear somebody saying what a real nigga would do. But anyway, it was good catch, Goshen. Good catch.
Careful who you take advice from. I made that mistake in the past. So here's my advice to you. Drop all these fucking goobers and just go look up some Patrice O'Neal. You'll thank me later. Oh my God. Preach can't even be here because we don't have enough time, unfortunately. But best believe the reason why Preach is not talking so much lately is because he has nothing to say. He has things he wants to do. So consider me speaking on his behalf, at least for today.
All right. Hey, that song, whoever that is singing, yeah, they killed it. But yeah, that's the story. That's the deal. I didn't know how long I needed. Oh shit. Shout out to Goshen in the building. He says, this is for the real ones. Haha. The real men or the real niggas. Shout out to Goshen. And when we get $100 super chat, I'm supposed to have you. I probably should have made you your own special agreement. When we get $100 super chat, we gotta have Smokey counter to make sure it's all there.
20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, 140.
Wait a minute, that's $100.
Shout out to Goshen. Shout out to Goshen. I was gonna make this one a little shorter, but it's an audience in here. It's an audience in here. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop the link. See if somebody want to get a their take, opinion, and perspective on the whole fresh posting the video of him buying a gun. If somebody want to give their opinion and perspective on that, you all are free and welcome to do so. You all are free and welcome to do so. I'll put the link in the chat. If don't nobody come up, don't get it twisted. I will shut this bastard down real fast because I said I was done with this after I made the part 2. I said I'm not going to drink at this well anymore. I said it was a wrap. And they did what I consider to be, finding some type of resolution. Some apologies happened. And they sort of moved on. So I thought. Got yourself a gun. Yeah. I thought they moved on. And it was going to be over with. But the subtlety of that is, it's problematic. Things keep escalating. My overall view on it, and the only disagreement I had with Abba and Preach on this is I thought they were cooler with each other to the point to where they wouldn't going to make a video. They wouldn't make a video, clowning, because they were kind of clowning them. And Abba and Preach kind of do that. They make videos about everybody. They crack their little jokes. They do this, they do that. But that was kind of taking a jab at video, and they take jabs at people. Nothing too disrespectful, but they do take jabs at people, and that's relatively normal for what they do. But when it's somebody who you've essentially worked with, I viewed them as colleagues. I legit viewed them as colleagues, and maybe they weren't. Maybe they was like, yeah. The whole original video and all of this, it felt like a fuck you to them. I'm talking about Abba and Preach. Sound like they sent Fresh and Fit to fuck you. Yeah, we collabed, we did this, we did that. We didn't really care for you niggas that much. We just gonna throw y'all right in the gauntlet with everybody else that we clown and make fun of, And I don't think you do that with your YouTube colleagues. So it was kind of like a fuck you. That was the only thing that they really did wrong in this. And sort of like what O'Shea said, O'Shea pointed out. Well, I think I may have pointed it out first, but that's neither here nor there. But O'Shea may have pointed it out. I mean, O'Shea did mention it in his video, and I feel bad for O'Shea because this is moving so fast, and he does it pre-recorded. He got to pre-record it and then send it to his editor. By the time he dropped a video, it's going to be new developments by the time his videos come out. So I feel bad for the pre-recorded people who just don't go live with it. But one thing he pointed out is that yes, the timing of it, just like the timing of this shit, was bad. The timing of Abba and Preach doing the original video, it was bad, and it was clearly right there connected to. Well, I shouldn't say clearly. It was seemingly connected to the fact that they were already under fire for some goofy stuff that they have been doing with the women, the pursuit of pussy. They've had some goofy moments therein, so the mere fact that they had all those goofy moments, and I'm saying that mildly because it's potentially legal stuff on the table there. So that's why I don't even want to touch on that no more. I really don't want to touch on that no more at all because there's some potential legal stuff in there. All right. So I don't even want to touch on that. So because of that, because there's some potentially legal stuff in there, it seemed as if Abba and Preach did the fuck you video just because they wanted to separate themselves. And then that's how it got. That's how it got. That's how it happened. Says Bernard, you can't save Fresh and Fit. You're under the impression I'm trying to save them. Not trying to save them. I've been critical of them. I've been critical of them through all of this. Been critical of them through all of this. Because they definitely played their part in what went wrong. And they've owned up to some of it. So there's that. They've owned up to it. But the link is in the chat room. I give it a little bit more time. Shout out to Goshen for the $100 super chat. Definitely appreciate you. Definitely appreciate you. I'm looking something up right now. Give me 1 second. 1 second. All right. Drop that down. Shout out to Mom Man. That looked like mom and man all in the same word. You put mom and man all in the same word. He says, what would you do if your wife and country were disrespected? Fresh and Fit spent 3 hours calling playback fat and called it a roasting. What? Well, he said spent 3 hours calling playback fat and called it a man. Listen, I can understand and respect that sometimes when y'all type in the chat room that y'all gonna type it kind of wild and it's gonna look funny. But if you take the time to pay for it, at least proofread it. If you pay for it, proofread it. Now you ask me what would I do? Abby and Preach's response after Fresh and Fit responded the way that they responded, everything that Abby and Preach did after that was appropriate. I just was feeling them doing the initial video that started all of this. That's the only thing that I wasn't feeling on their part. That's the only thing I wasn't feeling on their part. So you asked me what would I do? I would have probably reacted somewhat similar to how they reacted. So I don't think they did nothing wrong after that. And then there's the thing that even the Fresh and Fit, after they reacted, they wowed out. You do something, you take a shot at somebody, you don't get to control how they fire back. That's why bombing first is an important thing that you got to be careful with. You got to be careful with that. You got to be careful with throwing the first punch. Oh, I'm bad. Yeah, I had to get up and do some things. But yeah. But the link is in the chat. Right when I get this at 58:39. What in the hell? Why is that black? Why am I faded to black? Goddamn. Hold up. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. No, I like this camera, but I mean, if you watch my show, you know how it go. You notice it's not doing the automatic autofocus right now. And when I turn off the automatic autofocus, that means every 30 minutes the camera is going to shut down and then I got to restart it. It's a weird feature that I didn't know this camera had. Other than that feature, I do like the camera, but it's upgrades are coming soon. Upgrades are coming soon. It's a lot of things coming soon. It's gonna be a whole new set. A whole new set coming soon. So but all right. We're gonna call it right there. I did want to rap about that one for about an hour. And nobody's coming up. I think O'Shea is going live on the same topic. Y'all going over to O'Shea. Check out Orenthal Duke Jackson giving his opinion. I don't know why I clowned him that hard. Check out Orenthal Duke Jackson giving his opinion on that right now. And I'm about to be up out of here. I'd like to thank everybody who supported the stream, who liked, shared, subscribed, did anything to participate in this show, in this production in any way, shape, or form. Rather, you just looked with indifference. I know a few new people came in the building. I saw a few new people posting, so make sure you go ahead and subscribe. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe. I greatly appreciate that. Greatly appreciate each and every one of you. He says your link is broken. Oh, well, let's try that. Well, you know what? I already made my decision at this point. I'm getting the hell out of here. You can't have me doing my outro and then niggeros try to come up. And then a quarter of the audience then left. And niggas want to pop up. Yeah, man. So you know what I was saying. What I wanted to say is, okay, here go niggas. Okay. There we go. Hey, we got niggas in here. It's another fan. There we go. All right, cool. All right, what's up? What's y'all take real quick then, since y'all here now?
Yo, I'm gonna let Be Easy go.
Oh yeah, Be Easy go first. Yeah, we always go the first one I clicked on. That's the one who goes first. Go ahead, Be Easy. You got it.
Okay. So just I was cutting in and out of the stream, so I just want to stay on your topic. What were you just talking about? The recent integrity video, or are you just talking about this shit entirely?
No, I was talking about. Did you see the video? You do know that Fresh Prince CEO
He
posted
went
a
in
video on Instagram of him buying a gun.
That one I did see. So that one to me was a bit of some clown shit, because I mean, it's cool that you just buying your first gun at 30 some odd years old, but just the timing sits a little bit fishy with me, because you calling niggas out to fight, then you apologizing, and then you going and getting a gun and you ain't mentioning nothing else about fighting. So it's like, if you don't want to smoke, just say that. But it is the optics don't look cool, him trying to go buy a gun, because that wasn't even nothing to Instagram live. I own multiple guns, and I never put my shit on social media. So that, to me, that was kind of clownish that he did that right there.
Right on. Good stuff. Good stuff. And I'm gonna show some content creator preference and bump Ty City up on the list. Go ahead, Ty City. You got the floor. You got the mic.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, man.
Okay, yeah. No, my thing with this whole gun thing is I can see if he kept it towards the gun, right? Like in the fight, like, oh, you want to fight me, but you go and buy a gun and just keep it in that lane. He start veering off and start gaslighting other people with the, is this your leader? You got to understand, and all the rest of the shit. Like he diverted it right off from his situation and started to like make other people feel some type of way about it. You know what I'm saying? I don't like this shit.
You are okay. I think the merits of what he was saying about Fresh is true. This guy teach game, but he can't even read the room or understand the social cues of this is a bad look optic wise. I think what he was saying is right, but you are correct that he used that as an opportunity to just basically shit on his platform separately from the mere fact that you're going to buy a gun in the midst of us supposed to be meeting up to fight.
Yeah, I mean,
I do see what you're saying.
I see dudes, they do stuff like this, like if you know, so like on the street level, this is somebody pointing out that guy is buying a gun to everybody. You know what I'm saying? After getting into it with me, like, look over there. I don't respect it.
You're saying you don't respect Abba saying that, just the mere fact that Abba is pointing out that he got into it with me. Now he buying a gun. Look at him. You saying you don't respect that?
Yeah, help. Yeah, yeah, help.
I don't know if that was a call for help.
Nah, it's very passive. It's very passive. It's
Well, buying a
extremely
gun is
passive.
passive. Going to buy that damn gun is some
Well,
passive.
right, I get that too, but at the same time, it's like, man, it's no direct threats or nothing. It's just a whole, it's trust me, all of them corny. I'm gonna go over that tonight. All of them corny. The whole thing corny,
Man,
but I mean,
you think everybody corny, man?
everybody is corny.
See, but
you know, it's a whole bunch of trying to sway public opinion, and us as like people who are like viewers of it, consumers of it, we got to be cautious of that as well.
Yeah, that it was an attempt to sway public opinion, I kind of caught him on that in the sense that he was saying, "This is your king. This is a guy you learn game from." And this and that. I'm like, I don't think people really learning game from Fresh like that. From Myron, yes, and then you can criticize that because of his text message leakings. They leaked his text messages, so you can argue he ain't got no game either. But Myron is actually the talker of the two, the one that don't got a speech impediment, who could speak clearly on the subject matter and the talking points at least. So I think Fresh is just like Jazzy Jeff of the group, and he just there, and But so it was a bit of gaslighting from Apple, but overall the merits of the points that they've been making in this whole thing, I have agreed with them, other than their initial making that first video to begin with.
I agree, and Fresh and Fit, man, these dudes, they validate the opinion of sex workers, dog. Like,
you said, what do you mean by they validate the opinion of sex workers?
Like, they were literally trying to have a conversation about relationships and shit with women who fucking stick cucumbers in their ass on camera and shit. Like, come on, man. These dudes, like, come on, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, it's incel porn. It's like you gotta have 8 women on the set. You see what I'm saying? It turned into it's goofy, bro. It's goofy,
you're
bro.
Gonna be going in tonight. You just came up with something. You need to trademark that. You just coined a new phrase, incel porn. When you get 8 women on the set.
That's what it is. They put it in the title with 6 girls. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Tonight on Fresh and Fit with 8 girls. It's like, all right, fam. You know what I'm saying? That they're appealing to somebody who is, I'm just, man. I'm gonna go live tonight, man.
That's why they just got the game. So that's why I was saying yesterday. Even you can see with Fresh, he green, he building the plane, while he jumped out of it. So he ain't really qualified to be giving this game out like that. I'm not saying nobody, if dudes want to sign up for their dating classes, cool, but it's way more qualified people that actually have game versus these dudes that just picked up a couple tips and now they trying to get a bag off of it. I ain't pocket watching, let them get a bag, but it's people that have real game that's qualified. And these Myron actually do have some game. I call him the intellectual lumberjack. He be chopping down these chicks' delusions. But when you see the text messages and some of his beta behavior, you could see that he just got the game too. They both still green.
Well, my question is, it's like, because like, number one, these guys are operating in quote unquote the manosphere space, where it's supposed to be about bringing back the principles of masculinity in this whole westernized, over feminized society. And in this space, content creators are quick to call out women on their BS. But how I look at it from the outside in is that there's a lot of, like, Ty City was saying that Fresh and Fit do a lot of goofy things on camera. And I think because I've been reacted to a clip where they were in it, and it was a conversation which they had with Fresh and Fit, I don't even think it was reaching. I just think it's that we shouldn't create a space where content creators are above critique, because then that's when you're in an echo chamber. So instead of attacking the initial argument, it turned into disrespect. It literally turned into sign language that everyone's familiar with, that Kevin Samuels talks about. So my question is the manosphere too big to check itself? Like, is the manosphere going to be real and be like, okay, these 1, 2, 3, 4, these kind of scenarios happen, and we need to check the space for credibility? You know what I'm saying? Is that how
Well,
credible is the manosphere going to be after this? Is that
well, okay. Here's the thing: the manosphere is pretty damn good at checking itself. Like the reason it be so much infighting and back and forth is because people are essentially checking somebody else for something they did, something they said, something that didn't line up right, something that, I don't know, strayed away from the mission. Whatever the reason is, people get checked for it and people go in on it. And a lot of the manosphere is essentially going in on fresh and fit on this. So the thing that you're saying, what's going to happen? I mean, it's already happening. Like their
Especially
pages.
on Bernard channel, bro. When every time I see a stream, he Bernard and others is holding people accountable on the manosphere. So I'm not sure exactly where that statement came from. O'Shea, I'm seeing plenty of people holding people to task in the manosphere and otherwise.
Yeah, that
yeah,
happens all the time
but
here.
it's coming from, okay, where it's coming from is that how I think some people perceive, some people say that what Abba and Preach did was corny. But if you actually watch the Abba and Preach video, is that their Fresh and Fit's audience was in accordance with the cap. If you actually look at the chat, then the audience was saying cap, cap, cap. And there's another clip where Abba actually confronted Myron on, it's like, yo, in one of your streams you said I'm blue pill. What's up about that? And Myron was stuttering and backpedaling. So
Yeah, and he
I think
getting
that,
clowned. Fantastic was just Fantastic played that clip today and clowned him for that. Like
yeah,
And
so
if you said
I
the
think,
chat was throwing caps, you admitting that the chat was holding them accountable. If the chat is saying that Fresh was capping, how is that not accountability?
yeah, I mean, we got a good audience and good content creators within this space that they going at them for that. They going at
yeah,
them for it.
I think it's healthy what's happening, because at the end of the day, I don't think any content creator should go unchecked. And if you do get checked, then you should be able to stand on your square. And that clearly didn't happen here. So I think it's healthy. You know what I mean? Is that
Yeah. No, the
principles?
right
I think
thing.
principles should be the main thing, and principles were clearly crossed here. So there needs to be a rebalancing.
Yeah, or somebody said right there, S Boundless says they lost 30K subs. Like that's almost an overcorrection of the problem right there. But I mean, a lot of those probably were Abba and Preach fans, because they probably picked up a lot of subs from there. But overall, a lot of people are abandoning ship, not messing with them, and so they are being called out on it. As far as people saying what Abba and Preach did was goofy, I mean, they weren't exactly moving perfectly in all of this.
Nah, they weren't.
They weren't exactly moving perfectly. Like I said, they're two content creators, black male content creators. Both of them are duos. Both of them get similar views. They've collabed with each other. They have each other's cell phone numbers. A little professional courtesy, I think, is in order in that situation, to where you don't just randomly do a response video kind of clowning them, a response video for something 3 months ago kind of clowning them. So like that. So I think that Abba and Preach was wrong for throwing the initial punch. Then everything Fresh and Fit did after that was, a little ridiculous too. And then but people aren't just doing a, like, put it like this. And you would be right if this is what happened. If the overall response from the manosphere as a whole is Fresh and Fit not wrong, Fresh and Fit can do no wrong, and we just was pitchforks, torches, lanterns, full blown witch hunt for Abba and Preach, that's not exactly happening. Fresh and Fit are the ones taking the L. So, that in that sense, I don't know exactly where you're coming from, because Fresh and Fit taking the L is not a witch hunt for Abba and Preach. Actually, I got criticized by somebody who I assume consumes manosphere content, where they said in my chat room that I was bending over backwards to make excuses for Fresh and Fit, and I was actually critical of them with a lot of stuff that they said. But they was expecting me to. A lot of people are expecting a witch hunt for Fresh and Fit more than I've been preaching this. So
Yeah, because like if I had to put my honest, unbiased view on this, is that I think that what happened is this space is a profitable space. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, like the homie said, he's not trying to pocket watch, but some things need to be operated off of principle. And the thing is, I'm more on the back end of YouTube, so I kind of know what's happening, how to monetize audiences. And I wouldn't say there's some shady things happening, but there are things that you can do to get people to opt in and click in on content. And whether or not that's healthy for a lot of these men that need direction, I can't say, because you choose whether to opt into a product. But I think that there should be some form of ethics that operate within the sphere, because it's easy to create the click content that people click in on and people that are going to talk about it and it's going to go viral. That's probably one of the easiest things to do. It just depends on your ethics and how far you're willing to actually push that boundary. And what I'm seeing now with this correction with Fresh and Fit losing 30K subs is that there are men that just kind of opt into things that they don't know the deeper nuances of it. And I think this is a correction. Whether or not Abba and Preach were right or wrong about it, I think that was there better ways to go about it? There probably was a better way to go about it. However, I think it's already in motion, things are already in play.
All right. The Mac the Trucker in the building says Fresh Fit, in my opinion, been going downhill ever since Myron got slapped on camera. No, I think they've been blowing up a lot since then. Like look, those altercations when they got to put chicks out, that gets views.
That boosts their platform.
If anything, that boosts them up. But anyway, he says they telling bimbos red pill knowledge. It doesn't make sense. Well, and I disagree with you on that one, because it's not about telling it to the bimbos. It's the listening audience of men that are consuming it that matters more. The bimbos are just the props. They're the props in the show. So I don't criticize that. I don't criticize them for having female props in their show and them using the females as real-time examples to show that, the women are trying to say this, they're trying to smuggle this fuckery in, but this is what it really is. So men are being taught some things. In Myron, I will say this to the end of time, I will stand on this statement. Myron is real good at picking apart bad arguments from women. He's real good at it. That part, nobody can take that away. Like, to me, that's the strength of the Fresh and Fit podcast. If they was on there and it was just chicks just saying stupid stuff, and let's say both of them was just fumbling all over the place like Fresh Prince CEO. If both of them was doing that, the show wouldn't work. People would just quit watching. But the fact that Myron will surgically pick apart what they saying and had them sitting there looking stupid, that's the strength of the show to me. So they got a good thing going on. It's just two things. Thanks. Fresh is something else. I can't explain him. I'm not.
He needs to get off camera.
So Fresh aside, and then Myron behind the scenes doing some goofy shit. So that goofy shit behind the scenes need to get straightened out. And I don't know what you can do with Fresh, because I think he is who he is. I mean, he can't pretend to be alpha. He could just talk about, hey, you got to improve your money, your status, and your social media presentation, and that will draw women in. Because I think that is literally how he get girls. Like Myron actually said that about him. He sourced all his women from Instagram, because if you look at his Instagram, even before they blew up, he built an Instagram that looked he looked famous on his Instagram. He figured out to get the only card that he possibly had to play, because he ain't had a height, he ain't had a looks, he ain't had a physique, and he got a speech impediment, so you can't have verbal game if you fumble over your words. The only card he had to play is just building status, and he did it. So that's game that he can teach. Like, that's literally, damn, my homeboy just left. Damn, I wanted to hear from him. I don't even know who it was, but that's game that he can actually teach. But when he try to talk from a mouthpiece standpoint, or like raw sex appeal and alpha this, alpha that, and want to take a bitch soul. It's like we don't believe
Yeah, that
you.
point
You
he
need
just regurgitating talking
yes,
points that he heard. That's
yes.
not. It's
We
not in
don't
him.
believe you. You need more people. Yes.
Let me ask you something, Bernard. Is like I think that the entertainment value of the podcast versus the real applicable life lessons in the podcast. I mean, what's your take on that? Because it's like I don't think that, or from the social situations that I've been in, is that if I had to move like someone in that podcast room in a real life social situation, people would get turned off. You know what I'm saying? There's a fine line between asserting yourself and being brash. You know what I'm saying? There's like soft skills that you need to use when you're in social situations, be it with men or women. So I think that people, or I think I'm kind of over explaining, but the difference between the entertainment value of the show and real life applicable scenarios or learning lessons. What's your take on that? Is that
I
can
don't
most
know.
guys tell the difference?
I don't know what you mean because I mean it's
Okay.
a show. I mean it's literally. So what do you give me an example of something on the show that I don't know what you mean when you say real life applicable things.
Okay.
I don't.
Okay. I think let me just simplify the question. Is that how many of the guys can actually tell the difference between that being a show versus a set? You know, where it's like, okay, let's just put on some mics and talk and relax versus, okay, this is where we're trying to drive the thing at the end of the day. You know, because content creators can have their own narrative and push for a certain outcome, and I don't think a lot of guys actually pick up on the difference between real life social situations with relationships that you have to maintain versus a rotation of people just coming in that you don't have to maintain any social currency with them. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, I really don't follow where you're going. It'll be easy if you. Well, hold on. Let me go to Captain. Let me shout out to Super Chat real quick. Captain Sicko. He said, "Do you think Fresh and Fit can get their sub back if Fresh Guy knocks out Preach in boxing match?" I don't. I think that would help. That would definitely
Yeah, that
that would
definitely can't hurt because
yeah.
he's standing on some. He said he wants to box, and then if he box and then finish him off, you can't then knock him for saying that he wants to box and then he knocks somebody out. So he can't lose points for that unless you just a hater at that point. You weren't gonna give him no credit anyway.
Yeah. All right. I don't know where intro was going with his statement, but you can if you I'll pass it to you if you understood what he was asking.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real intro. That question was a little loaded and convoluted, so I'm not sure. But what I will say is, let's for the people that's watching, it's not their obligation, Bernard's or any content creator obligation for you to understand or have discernment with what they're putting out. So if dudes is goofy and watching it and they're not getting the social dynamics of men and women, that's not Fresh and Fit's fault. That's your fault for not understanding it. And at the end of the day, when you creating content, I understand the ethics, but it's about economics versus ethics. Nobody is on creating content to just be ethical. Now, being ethical may be a byproduct of you creating content, but you're doing it for economics, i.e., super chats, cash apps, views, etc. Those is economics. That's always going to outweigh ethics any day. We in a capitalist nation. YouTube is no different.
Okay.
No,
I do want to. I want to go to Javon real quick, but Mr. Hyde is saying that. Let me see. What does it say? Dude, he keep popping up and popping down. He's saying you want to take women's soul is whack and needed to be called out. We need to be better if the manosphere is a real movement. That is obviously a metaphor when you say take a woman's soul. Alpha Male Strategies, I believe, is the one who started it, and basically it's just a very it basically just means that this woman is completely wrapped around your finger. That she'd do anything. She'll walk blindfolded off a cliff for you.
Yes, metaphorically
It's
speaking,
metaphorical,
not literally.
like lined up with the metaphor. Like my woman, I've taken her soul, but I don't go around. I don't use that kind of. I don't talk like that. I took her soul, but but based off what the metaphor, what it actually means, yeah, I understand what it means. It's just that when he said it, it just didn't hit. It didn't hit the same as when Alpha Male Strategies was talking about it. That's all. I think that's more so what it is. He said all this is planned. I don't think so. Like all the dumb rap battles of yesteryear. I don't think all them. I don't think Tupac and Biggie was planned. Anyway, all right. Anyway, we got Zab 1988
Yeah.
in the
How's
building.
it going, man? Great show.
Javon,
Yeah.
come back if you hold on real quick. Javon, come back if you can. If you can, I'm gonna let you speak as soon as you come back. But go ahead, Zab.
Yeah, I want to do a little pushback against the previous guy that's saying that economics outweighs ethics. I would say that
Oh wait, he
ethics is
said that.
more.
Hold on, wait. He said that, be easy. Did you say that economics outweighs ethics?
Well, he didn't
I
say
said,
outweigh.
Hold on,
He
wait.
said
Let's
economics.
let him say it. Let's let him say it. Let's let him say it. Let's let him say it. Go ahead, be easy.
yes, for they show it does. Now it's for everybody else. Like when Fresh and Fit is making their show, or you think that ethics comes into play first or economics? They trying to make money. They're not trying to be ethical.
Well, okay. Well, what would you define? I don't even know how you would define being ethical. I mean, it's a talk show where they have a certain opinion and perspective, and then the women obviously got an opinion and perspective, and so they're basically once the show gets going, they start debating ideas. So I don't see where ethics even come into play with that. Now,
Well,
their
I was
show is
speaking more in general.
like
I was making more of a general case. And I'm on my cell phone. My service is kind of messy right
you
now.
good. You haven't broke up at all. You good.
Yeah, I was more. I meant more in general. For instance, in this situation, you could say that if we allow an environment where there's a lot of beef being fostered, what happens if YouTube steps in and decides to police the space? So we have to be ethical, because if we don't, then we allow the larger entity to come in and start policing. So it's like we got to police ourselves, because if we allow YouTube to step in, that might be a detriment for everybody.
What do you mean YouTube step in and do what, into who, and for what reason?
And who is going to be the ethics police?
No. Before we even get to there, I just want to
YouTube will be the ethics police.
stop. Hold on. YouTube step in and do what, and to who, and for what reason?
No, I'm saying, like, let's say in this situation, right?
Okay.
It escalates into something else.
Mm-hmm.
Hold up, my service is messing up.
You sound unbroken and clear to me.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah, you sound good. Okay, well now you're not. I don't know if you're saying something now. All right. Yeah, you gotta explain clearly what he means. I mean, on their show, I guess what I was looking for him to explain is what is happening on their show that is so bad that YouTube would have to step in. Now, the times when chicks have, got violent on the show, that's something that YouTube would step in. Okay, if people going to be getting violent on this show on a regular basis, they may step in on that. Like that can happen. That can make sense. But overall, other than that, I don't see nothing happening on their show where YouTube would absolutely positively have to step in. So I don't know exactly what his intentions were, but it does sound like and kind of reek of that he was trying to essentially say that we need to clean up some of the stuff that we do and talk about in this space. Because if we don't clean up and if we don't we don't start acting right, then YouTube gonna come get us. Like that's it was sounding a lot like that, and I don't know if that's where he was going with it. So I don't know. I have no idea, but I'll let y'all try to decipher if that's what he was talking about.
Well, I just had a couple extra questions, because let's just say we were to clean it up. Who was the cleanup crew? Who was the ethics or the ethics police? Just like I was saying yesterday, people trying to cancel people on a red pill. Who are the red pill judges and security guards and arbiters and you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no infrastructure to supposedly be policing people outside of doing these streams and holding people accountable with your words in the chat. Like, I don't get what he's saying, like YouTube gonna step in. Like they would have already stepped in.
Yeah, it's like it's a. What do you? Okay, hold on. Wait. Oh, here you go. Right now, you got points right there. He said the point I was trying to make is we need to clean up the space.
Who is
Okay.
we?
Yeah. Who is we? And who do you want out?
So we got who is we?
Who
Who
do
do you
you
want
want?
out?
Hold on, no. The important part, Zab. Who do you have a problem with? That's one thing. Who do you want out? And secondly, by cleaning up, what exactly do you mean?
That
You
sound
need
like cancel
clearly,
culture.
you need to clearly enunciate what particular action and behavior do you want to stop. Then we having a real conversation. Now, if somebody say, "Yeah, man, all this shit is getting wild, man. We got to clean up this space, or YouTube gonna shut it down, or this or that," and then you're not saying nothing. So you can come back up and explain yourself clearly and state very clearly what do you think is wrong in this space, and what do you think need to stop. And now the problem with that is, and this is why the moniker, the banner, the Black Manosphere, is something that like you clicked on Bernard Riley. When Fantastic went live early, you clicked on Mr. Fantastic. When Angry Man goes live, you clicking on Angry Man or the Street Conservative. So it's almost like you can't decide how do you clean up those individuals. If Angry Man doing something you don't like, the only response is you can't stop him from doing his program how he do his program. You could choose to not watch it. If I do something you don't like, you can't stop me from doing what I'm doing. You could choose to not watch it. Now if the audience all vote with their feet in a certain way, then the content creators will be like, oh, there's not a market for what I'm doing. Maybe I need to do something different. But you haven't clearly stated exactly what it is that you think people are doing that you don't think should be done. Snuggles in the building says, play my music, man, in the leftover muscle shirt. And break up this foolishness now that black men made a mistake. Are you going to hold it over them forever? Nobody is holding anything over them forever. The mistake that I started the stream to talk about, that mistake is just a few hours old. Okay? I'm talking about a mistake that's a few hours old. So that's a little, I don't, You're defending black men, so good on you, Snuggles. But no. But shout out to you. I'll play your little theme.
Hi, I'm Snuggle. Snuggly softness. That's really less expensive.
Thank y'all for acknowledging that thumbnail, man. I've been working on my thumbnail game, man. I'm getting good.
Stepping it up, man. The evolution.
Yeah.
No, I really just had, when they say clean up the space, that rings a little bit of cancel culture. So I would just like some clarification on that, because let's just say we clean up the space. What does that entail? Shutting down people channels?
Yeah, we're gonna start doing a flagging campaign.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. How is that not snitching too? Hey, YouTube, we need to clean up Manosphere. Go check out Bernard Riley page. I don't get how you can do cleaning up this space without kind of snitching and do, and reporting and flagging. Damn near doxing. So yeah. I'm definitely not an advocate of that.
Right.
Yeah, I think on the low key, I think it's more on the men that need to make better choices and have discernment over the content that we consume and who we make into our stars. You know what I'm saying? Is that, for example, it's like, I think as critical as some content creators are of some of the things that women do and say, then we should be as quick to call out the bullshit that some content creators be on. It shouldn't be like a echo chamber or
holy shit, dude! It's not an echo chamber. This is just proving.
Oh no! I'm not saying no. I'm speaking in general terms. Is that it's like, just like you said, some of what Abe and Preach did was a bit corny. Then I think that's healthy for the space. So I think that what's going on isn't bad, isn't good. It's just, it was bound to happen.
The last saint in the building. Go ahead.
Hey, good afternoon, man. I hear what y'all speaking of when you're saying clean up the space as politically silencing. I don't see it as that. I see it I do see it as kind of policing as well. But what I do see it as, actually in a matter of holding people accountable. When you hear people say silly things, kind of like what I see with the Fresh and Fit. You hear, like the whole situation going on with Abba and Preach, speaking on a person's country, talking about their wife, things like that. You got to hold them accountable. You can't just be hoorahing these people because you're in the same sphere of influence as them with the Black Manosphere thing. Like you can't just be going all in, letting them do this and that, just 100% behind them. Like you gotta send these people, not physically send them to jail, but being honest and truthful with yourself. Like you can't be
How many
letting
more
things like this
subs
go on.
would you have them lose?
What happened?
How many more subs would you have them lose, man?
You know what? I was listening to O'Shea the other night, and he was talking about those subs that he had. Those weren't really people that were with him anyway. I mean, they did a collaboration, so I'm having to assume, even if you look on the analytics, that those subs could be people from Alba and Preach's channel. Like,
yeah, no. It's true that they no doubt picked up some subs from Abba and Preach, and they no doubt had people who were on board who wouldn't really with them. But I mean, they are clearly under fire in this space. I mean, there's just no other way around that. They are being harshly criticized and
that's
held
policing,
accountable
right?
in every way, shape, or form. So that goes back to what I said. What's being asked that needs to happen is happening. It's happening now. I started this stream up as soon as I saw Abba post a video of Fresh going to Fresh posting a video of him buying a gun. I'm like,
yeah.
I wasn't gonna go live today, but I decided, you know what, I'm about to go ahead and fire it on up. Just whatever. That was ridiculous. Number 16 in the building. He says you can only control yourself. You only worry about yourself. Stop being scared about what you have no say in. Yeah. Young Jay says, Fresh and Fit came from the Black Manosphere. Solo TV 84 put fresh. Myron came through. I think he means put on fresh. Myron came through under AMS Donovan Sharp, etc. Cool. I didn't know that Solo TV 84 had anything to do with Fresh and Myron. I do know that he gave AMS his first major interview. I do know that. All right.
Yeah, so I came on. Remember, I came on here saying the guy before me said that, and as far as economics versus ethics, these guys are making an economic decision. So I was saying that I reject that ethics should be the main proponent of what we focus on. That's all I was saying. I was just giving an example.
What do you mean ethics should be the main proponent of what we focus on?
The guy was saying that when it comes to the decisions they're making, they're going with the economic one and not the ethical one, right?
Well, I think the decision that they made to apologize and pull back, that was a good economic decision and an ethical decision.
Well, it was a good ethical decision. That was ruled by ethics
and economics.
Nah, that's both.
And economics, they lost
it's
thousands
both,
of subscribers.
but ethics was the main reason for that.
Well, look,
I
if they
don't think you know
continue,
that. I think
You could say that economically it'll be more, but you could say that it'll be more economical for them to continue the beef.
No, it wouldn't.
Because it's driving traffic, it's driving the, you know what I'm saying?
They didn't need that. No, they can go live, fresh and fit with 37 girls live. That gets like 11K live views and a lot
they
of
got
money.
hella features too.
They don't.
So they didn't need the beef.
They don't need the beef. So I think they made
but it was still an ethical decision.
To pull back on it, it was a good ethical decision because you did attack a man's wife in his country and all kind of other stuff. So it's ethical to apologize for that, and it's economical to realize that you're losing subs, you're being criticized. Everybody and their mama got you in their thumbnail, even me with fresh and ready to go ride on somebody gear.
They call it
so it's
so that's an example of the ethical decision benefiting you economically. So putting ethics first is not necessarily a bad thing.
But the thing is, they could have put. They could have put economics first, and that putting economics first also lined up with the ethical thing. But I don't understand. Okay, put it like this. On people YouTube channels, I guess you got to be clear on how, because you're talking in a broad way. You're not just talking about this situation. You're saying in general we should put ethics first over economics.
Right.
So explain, other than this situation, how is a content creator putting economics over ethics? Explain that.
Well, I guess I could say if you're putting economic first, that could lead you to doing things where you'll get the easy money by
Okay,
doing things negative
no,
because
stop. Give me an example of something that a content creator does that where he's putting economics before ethics. Because if it's a problem and you think it's a problem, you should be able to explain a situation where
you're asking me for like a particular example.
If there's
to come up, you asked me to come up with something off the fly.
Well, if it's a problem, I assume you've seen people doing it.
Okay, can I touch on it? That where content. So I think it was an AMS video where and this is an old video where he was like yeah, a lot of guys in the space would rather not watch the videos on self-improvement, not watch the videos on money, on finances, on getting your shit straight. They'd rather watch the manipulating videos or how to manipulate female nature, this, that, and the third. And then he said in that video, well, then even though I want you guys to be better, I'm here for money. So I'm going to put the money first. If the analytics tells me that y'all click in on how to manipulate female nature, this, that, and the third, then that's what I'm going to give you guys. And he was open about it. You know what I'm saying?
Bingo.
He said, is that
Economics
if
first.
I give you guys the content that talks about how to start your business, how to register your LLC, how to get your retirement and all the money stuff straight, y'all don't click on that stuff. But when I talk about women,
in order for what you're saying to make, when you talk about women, you're basically saying in order a man giving a guy game on how to deal with women, how to talk to women, how to approach women, how to manage a relationship with women, or even how to manage a friends with benefits situation with women, you are basically saying that that's unethical for men to have understanding, red pill knowledge of how to deal with women.
No.
In order for your argument to make sense, you would have to agree that that's unethical.
No. Let me frame it correctly. Is that he said that when he puts up titles on, and he was specific when he said on manipulating women, on how to kind of get revenge on women. That's what he specifically framed.
Okay, but his whole okay. Even I didn't see the video.
So I'm making an example.
Stop for a second. I didn't see the video. I just know his work. His work is about getting revenge on women. And he's got plenty of streams that get plenty of views where he's talking about just teaching guys game on how to deal with, interact with women, do's and don'ts, do this, don't do that. You know, we're basically just teaching the game. So in order for what you're saying to make sense, you would have to think that a guy teaching men red pill knowledge on how to interact with women is unethical. Like, I'm going to go ahead and call it. I'm sensing a lot of covert. I don't want to say agent, but it's a lot of maggle-splaining going on up here.
No. I'm just using I'm referencing a clip that AMS put up. That what he said is that the most important component of being quote unquote a red pill man is getting your money straight. However, when he generates the content, which is actually going to help you improve that component of your life, dudes don't click on it. Dudes would rather click in on how to manipulate women. And
no. Stop. Hold on. See, that's where you smuggling in the fuckery. Men would rather click on videos that are about women more so than they would rather click on videos about business and finance. In this space, that is true, because this space is built, this whole algorithm was built on talking about women. That's what people are here for. I used to always go to my finance stuff. I used to look at Damon John, James Ramsey. I don't know why I always mess with his name, Dave Ramsey. But I used to look at people like that. But when it came to, you know, things regarding the social contract between men and women and things like that, the manosphere is where I came for that. And but then when they would smuggle in content, much like I do, I smuggle in content about finances, just like I had Savings Minus Debt on. I had Pocket Watching with JT on. Me and Ike used to do a business series on Sunday. We still put that content out there because it's men here and we want men to consume it, but we can't lie to ourselves that this space is about women are a huge part of this. This algorithm was built on that. You're basically trying to make an argument that y'all need to quit talking about women and talk about something else because you don't like the stuff that we say about women. This is some
no. That's not what I'm saying.
I know that I smell the agenda a mile away.
No. If people clicked in on the content, I say, like, create the content that's going to be profitable for you. You know what I'm saying? Is that, however, there's that human behavioral element where we click in on the most salacious content and the juiciest content. And if that's what brings the revenue and you're willing to take it all the way there, then go there. I'm not the dick police, but I'm just putting out and referencing content that's out in the sphere. It's not that I'm not fabricating it and I'm not making it up. Is that you're going to generate the content that makes revenue for you. So even if you wanted to put out a message,
I'm going to generate the content that I started my YouTube channel to talk about. The first video that I made, it was a response to a Derek Jackson video where he said some of the most blue pill stuff that would have men just all completely screwed up, and it was very manipulative. So I was like, and this was a little while back, and I was like, man, it's messed up because I didn't even know the manosphere really existed. I just was listening to his videos and I was looking at the comment section. There was even some dudes who was agreeing with his shit. And I was like, somebody got to respond to this shit. So I just made a response video, the first video I ever made. So I started my YouTube channel to essentially talk about male-female interactions, relationships, and everything, but from a man's perspective. From a man's perspective, and giving, you know, actual information that matters to men, and not the BS that's normally out there that caters and panders to women and fuels their delusion. So that's what a lot of people started their channels to talk about, you know, whether it was talking about feminism or how feminism affects, you know, so many things today in men and women and relationships and all of that. A lot of this stuff is about that. So people come here, they don't just say, oh, I know this is good information here, but I'm about to deliberately make some fuckery to lead my people astray so I can make some money. No, I think a lot of people, the majority of people believe in what they're saying. They're about the message and they stand on their message, and that's what this space is about. If you don't like this space, you can go and type in black financial blah 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 blah. You might find TJ the Millionaire. You might find TJ the Millionaire. You're gonna find all kind of people. Hell, shout out to Anton, who recently criticized the red pill space, but his finance stuff is pretty damn good. You know, when he's talking about money in business, even though he criticized the red pill space recently. Like, there's plenty of people that you can find to talk about what you want to talk about, but you can't come over here to people having a conversation about A and say y'all need to talk about B, because clearly there's a market for A.
No, that's a fact. So however, what we're referencing now is what you said is quote unquote economics over principle. So I was just using an example.
I make good money on my YouTube channel, and I stand on and hold on, stop. I make good money on my YouTube channel, and I stand on my principles, and I don't waver. So I don't know what you're talking about, economics over principles. It's the implication there is anybody that is talking about this red pill shit is lacking ethics and principles. That's the covert fuckery that you're trying to smuggle under the table.
No, we're saying we're not. That's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
What I'm saying is,
go ahead.
Ethics should rule over the economic, because we gave examples of being ethical.
It's 50-50. It's 50-50.
Yeah, there has to be a line. I think that there's that point 50-50. Where
it is 50-50 in this space with most people. With most people, the majority of people is 50-50. If you want to, if you must know, The way you know it's 50-50, because I talked about how I got my little leftover muscles from when I used to work out. If it wasn't 50-50, oh, I would just work out like a motherfucker, get Derek Jackson ripped, and start pandering to women. And use the same ability to talk and build this platform and grow a channel and everything I know about the algorithm to pander to women, and then start getting some of that female money, them female views. That's so. I'm standing on my ethics. I'm standing on what I believe in. I think the only thing is you don't believe in what I believe in, so you think it's
No, I
unethical.
believe it should be 50-50. But remember, the guy earlier said that economics should outweigh the ethics.
Who said economics should outweigh the ethics?
Bro, I definitely didn't say that. We were speaking specifically on Fresh and Fit, and I said with them specifically, I believe that they choose economics over ethics. It doesn't mean that they're unethical. I think that their economics is the priority. People want to make money. If I'm on here giving you game and providing entertainment, why would I want to do that shit for free? Even Bernard, he giving you your time. So should he not have an economic interest? But that doesn't mean that he's unethical when he's streaming on his platform. So two things could be right at the same time. And I was speaking specifically on just Fresh and Fit. I also don't think nobody should be telling people what they should do as a content creator. I could say, Bernard, you should have a better background. Is he obligated to, to listen to that? You know what I'm saying?
I'm proud of my background, man.
I think your background
Yeah,
is
I
dope.
think
I was just using that in a facetious, you know what I'm saying, to make
But
a
that's
point.
not an ethical argument. Commenting on his background has nothing to do with ethics.
I was more or less saying what people should do. You telling people that they should lead with ethics. Who are you to tell people what they should lead with? That's what you believe. No one else has to believe what you have to believe, especially if they're creating content, especially if they're creating content that works
Right,
for
and
them.
they'll deal with the consequences if they decide to go economic and not pay any mind to ethics. Then they'll deal with the consequences. I'm not
So
telling
if they're
anybody
gonna
to do
be
anything.
punished
I'm
by the
just giving my
consequences,
opinion and my advice.
okay.
Consequences are good or bad. And my question about ethics is this, Bernard. I mean, what is ethics? Is it what you believe in, or is it ethics as a whole? What's good for everyone? Because I get what you guys are saying about 50-50 split with economics and ethics, or putting the money over principle, or things like that. But my thing is, well, just repeating my question, what's the difference in between what you believe in as being your ethics and what's good as a whole? Because your ethics could be, completely bad, but it's what you believe in, versus what everybody else's opinion is.
I think each individual has their own personal moral code. So I don't understand what you mean by what's good for the overall
Well,
group.
well,
like
if your ethical decisions get in the way of the law, that's an example of your ethics getting.
Well, let's keep it in the red pill space then. So I'm not all over the place. With with the red pill thing, the ethics of that, teaching it's basically teaching men to value themselves over women, or getting their money
That's
as
very ethical, yeah.
the poor.
I
So
think everything you just said was very ethical.
Hmm?
I don't understand the question. What's the question? I guess ask the question.
Okay, I just said a whole bunch of stuff, so I didn't really make a question. Well, my thing, you already said it. It's based upon what other people values. So when I was saying
I didn't say that. I said it's based on what other people value.
Their own values.
Yeah, each individual has their own ethical moral code. Yes, I do agree that that's true.
Yeah. Right. And I was just saying, like, good as a whole, versus what they value. Because it's very opinionated on what is and what isn't, what's right or what's wrong.
I know. Okay, you said, but you were saying, like, I'm going to repeat back the sentence how you worded it. You said in response to me saying everybody has their own individual ethics or moral code, but then you said something along the lines of, but what's the group, or what you I don't know if you're not wording your sentence correctly to where it's even I can't follow. I'm sorry. You got me feeling dumb. I don't understand your question.
Okay, listen.
It sounds like you're trying to say this. It sounds like you're trying to say this. you have your own moral and ethics, but your ethics is flawed. Could you possibly be? It sounds like you're saying that I should abandon what I think makes sense and think about what's better for the overall group, thus change my method, change my message to tailor for what is better for everybody. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, on the lines of that. I was basically saying your opinion versus, the group's opinion. If that makes sense.
My opinion versus the group's opinion. No, I
Right.
give my opinion and people in the group either agree or disagree.
Okay, well, yeah, that's all I'm saying. Nothing convoluted.
Okay. Anybody else want to speak? Shout out to Ash L. Says Fresh probably bought a gun because those AKA Haitians in Miami probably putting some pressure on them. If you came for one, you came for all. Somebody alluded to that. We closing in on the 2-hour mark. Bees, you ain't said nothing in a while. You've been laying back. And
Yeah, no, I agree with you with the code of ethics. I mean, it's really subjective. Bernard could have his own set of code of ethics. I could have a separate, different code of ethics. So it's really subjective, and I'm not really understanding when it's weighing someone's personal, ethical beliefs versus the group. Like, is there a think tank, and did all the groups say, "Look, this is our ethical stance," and you're not aligned with it? If you talk to the group, which I'm not sure what group you're referring to, if you're talking to the manosphere, let's just say that you're talking about the manosphere, right? Think of the top one. Are we gonna say that Kevin Samuels has the same code of ethics as Fresh and Fit? Does Fresh and Fit have the same code of ethics as Abba and Preach? And you can just go on and on. Does AMS have the same code of ethics as Obsidian? So like, it's all subjected, and just the argument in itself is convoluted if you don't target and specify what are we even really talking about.
Yeah, I think they were just saying quit talking about this red pill shit and talk about something else, because we don't. I think that's what was being said.
Oh, so they saying go purple pill or what?
I
I
don't.
don't even know
No,
what's
I'm
going on.
saying
It's like different
what
people
I'm
saying
saying
different
is
So my question,
it should be
yo, be
50%
easy.
ethics, 50% economic.
But that's
my
not
question
what
to
you
you
led
is
off
that
with. I agree with
We're
that,
making
but
content.
This conversation started from I forgot which one it was, saying something along the lines of YouTube going to come in and clean up this space if it don't get cleaned up. So we gonna have to clean up this space. It was basically
It started when the guy was saying that Fresh and Pitt was making an economic decision and they weren't caring about ethics. So I came on and I said, no, I feel that it should be you can't only base your decisions off of economics. You have to give ethics a say so.
so now you
yo, be
telling Fresh
easy.
and Fit what they should do with their
Wait, be
platform
easy.
again?
I think
Can
a
I ask
lot
you
of
something?
most of what they say, most of the advice that they give men, if that man's best interest is in mind, yeah, him putting himself first and not overvaluing women and doing a lot of the things for that, how Myron breaks it down, men adopting that mindset. I think it is some ethics in that. It's an ethical thing to put yourself first. I mean, so I'm not hearing a lack of ethics. I don't see nobody being unethical, even with Ramil, with the harsh, cold-blooded cutthroat stuff that he says. There's a rhyme and reason behind it that puts that man in that position, and the man in that position where he's going to be the ultimate beneficiary from his life and his work. You can't say that. I'm not seeing anything unethical. Do you? Are you standing on what you believe in? That those are things that matter, right? To me.
Yo, so I want to ask something. Is that at some point there was a talking point that which alluded to most people don't have the same ethics. Is that different people can have different set of ethics. So with like 20,000 people unsubscribing from Fresh and Fit, do you think that people share the same ethics in some shape or form based off of how this whole thing is unfolding?
No, because if that's the case, they would have
We
left.
all have our
They
personal
would have
ethics.
left. They would have left before that if it was the problem of ethics. They left because they essentially did some hoe ass shit. That's why people left, or they just were Abbott and Preach fans and didn't like that Abbott and Preach was being attacked, so they left because of that. Like there's a number of different reasons as to why people left, but I don't think it's an ethical thing, and I don't think that anybody who's talking about ethics has clearly established who's unethical and who's not, and for what reasons, and why whatever they're saying that is supposedly unethical to you should or should not stop.
Cause one thing I noticed is that if you actually go through the comments on some of the things, is that the whole thing was how you gonna go with a guy's wife and his country, this, that, and the third. You don't do that, and that was
Those are the
a
ethics.
repetitive theme. So from my understanding of ethics is that there is some abstraction of it that people share within this space, and a line was crossed. And I think that the actions that are being displayed now in terms of like people unsubbing is indicative of a clear sentiment that someone broke code, you know?
Basically bad ethics.
Well, technically, they both broke code. Really, yeah, they both broke code. I believe Abba and Preach broke code with the first initial video, not the rhetoric that they were saying, but just the fact that I thought that they were cool enough to where they could have just called and hashed it out, or did a live and they say on live, hey, look, I thought you was capping right here, and have a live response to where Fresh could just respond to them live and direct. So I thought they did break code in that regard, but not actually their assertion on the whole capping thing. I see why it came off as disrespectful, because it did feel like they broke code, and then in response, Fresh and Fit went off code. So it was wrong on both sides.
But basically,
yeah, because here's the thing, and now that you say that, is that I think there's different codes. There's business code and there's personal code. So from what you're saying is that Albert and Preach broke a business code, and then Fresh and Fit up the ante and broke a personal code. You know what I'm saying? So, and then that goes, like, it boils down to ethics again. You know what I'm saying?
and basically to the people who don't understand, I think a lot of people assume or think that Fresh and Fit had the worst ethics. You know, if you go about thinking about it, you would say that Abner and Preach accusing them of being liars, you know, capping, for those who don't understand terminology, versus the ethics of Fresh and Fit for going after their origins or their family or whatnot in that regard.
Yeah, well, the last saint, and none of them are saints in this. You feel me?
Yeah,
So
definitely.
there's enough blame to go around. So I feel you, like nobody should be. I'm subscribed to both of them. I ain't gonna unsubscribe. You know, if they make something I don't agree with, I'll just disagree with it. If they make something I agree with, so I take it instance by instance. This wasn't the one to just say, oh, I gotta unsub them, because a lot of the shit that people are coming out with now, just realizing I had already known this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like they already had admitted before, like they was nerds and shit, and they just kind of recently took the red pill, and that's why I say they're green. They're still learning the game. So people just need to stop idolizing people. You know, chew the meat,
Right.
spit out the bones.
Right. A lot of people, you know, these are strangers. Like majority of the people who watch and listen, they'll never meet these people. You know, so it's best to not consider these people, you know, put these people on a pedestal, because that's what I see a lot with the whether it's red pill, blue pill, any of that. You know, if you dislike somebody, you see them as a villain. If you like them, you revere them. So it's best to keep a middle line. You know, get the information and then just move forward with it. You know,
Exactly.
no need to. If you want to pick sides, fine, go ahead, but don't go overboard. It's kind of like politics with the right or the left. If you go too far, you're gonna fall off. So it's best to stay in the middle.
Now, if you go too far, you're gonna be a tribalist, because then if you're talking politics, if I'm a Republican and you a Democrat, then now I automatically just discredit everything you say, not because it doesn't have any validity, but just because you got the you on the wrong team. So that's how some people is. Some people is team Fresh and Fit. Some people is team Abba. So nothing Abba and Preach could say to sway them. So just that cognitive dissonance. So you gotta just call balls and strikes. So what Abba and Preach done initially, I mean, I wouldn't have went about it that way. I could see how it was taken as disrespect. I thought it was unnecessary and a little bit petty, just the initial stream, because I thought it could have been handled a different way. But what they said in there, it was no different than any other content. So they was consistent on that. Who wasn't consistent was Fresh and Fit. They was within their rights responding, but then they went overboard with the ad hominem attacks, and then they just made it look bad, because I've been preaching take down none of their videos, right? They standing on their square what they said. Now Fresh and Fit is apologizing and taking videos down. Nah, just leave the videos up. You take the video down that you want to box, and then you replace it with a new video of you buying a gun. The optics on that just look nerdy and corny as fuck. So you just got to call both sides, call a spade a spade.
Right, exactly. And you hit the nail on that too. Because I mean, regardless of how you see it, people have their opinions, and the actions that the two groups make, people are going to see it as being beta, red pill or blue pill. I mean, the guys already apologized for better or worse, so that's manning up for accepting that you're wrong. But on the other side, they said that they're not relenting. They're gonna keep making videos, and you're just gonna keep seeing beef and all that. So then that goes to the point of more economical or ethics damage too, right there,
Yeah,
because the press
and it's
screen
a
is
little
here
bit
to
of
act.
both too, because they're making those videos that's economic, because it is getting views, because people are feeding into this beef. We doing a stream right now talking about it. O'Shea talking about it. Multiple platforms is talking about it. So that is generating economics for them. But since they both have separate codes of ethics, I feel like, or I believe that they also are doing, at least Abba and Preach believe they doing something ethical by still calling them out and doing frauds. They think that they're doing some moral good to wake other people up by you following these frauds in their words.
Right, because my thing is that I don't know if it was you or somebody else, but someone said that they knew that Fresh and Fit were doing all this other stuff. And to the new people who are just seeing these Instagram texts or messages being released, or one of those guys being on those sugar daddy websites. I mean, are you truly exposing something if it was already common knowledge? Because I mean, at that point, it's kind of being it's tilting on being petty or not. If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying. If it was out there publicly, it's not necessarily been, you are not personally exposing them, because the information has been exposed once it gets into the public sphere.